tools and strategies to help you build a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. Today is Friday, and this is the Tech Divas Weekly. Every Friday, we come to you with tech news, social media news, everything that you need to take the hassle out of your hustle. And so today we're going to start off. Oh, well, first of all, thank you for watching live and those who are watching on the replay. We appreciate any comments that you want to make or invite other people to join you in the conversation. So, always, we do This Week in Tech History. So let's get that started. July 27th, 1981, about 2 weeks before IBM began shipping the first IBM PC, Microsoft buys the full rights to the operating system 86-DOS, formerly known as QDOS, Quick and Dirty Operating System. Okay.
That's what it was
From
called?
Yeah. They grew up, hopefully. Okay. From Seattle Computer Products for $50,000. They purchased that. Microsoft had previously paid $25,000 to SCP for a non-exclusive license in December 1980 in order to begin porting the operating system to the IBM PC, which used the Intel 8088 processor. Microsoft renamed 86-DOS to MS-DOS and licensed it to IBM as PC-DOS. SCP would later sue Microsoft, claiming fraud because Microsoft did not reveal IBM as a licensee. Okay, the case was settled in SCP's favor for $1 million, a fraction of the annual revenue Microsoft was receiving from MS-DOS and PC-DOS.
Wow.
Okay, it sounds like you people were not on your P's and Q's and were not paying attention.
No, they weren't.
July 28th, 1981, IBM introduces their System 23 Data Master desktop computer only 2 weeks before they introduced their IBM PC. Geared towards small business for use as a word processor and a data processor, the computer was designed to be set up by end users without the need of a computer specialist. While now a footnote in history, the importance of the Data Master is that many of the team members that developed it were reassigned to the secret IBM PC project. Much of the knowledge they acquired working on the Data Master went into developing the IBM PC as quickly as possible. For example, the choice of the Intel 88 processor in the IBM PC was based on the team's familiarity with the similar 8085 processor used in the Data Master.
Wow.
And it had 2 floppy disks.
Oh, and you know how we love the floppy disks.
The 3x5s.
Yeah, those almost like records, like the 45s are almost as big as 45s.
Exactly. July 29th, 1914, the first test call is made on the newly completed transcontinental telephone line, taking place between New York and San Francisco. The last pole was erected and the line completed 2 days earlier on July 27th, but commercial service did not start until January 25th of the next year. The 6-month delay was due to AT&T's wish to publicize the service in conjunction with San Francisco's 1915 World Fair. So they were holding out for publicity.
Wow.
But the first transcontinental phone call. I'm like, okay. So what were we doing before? Was that like the Pony Express? And
you just waited for the letter to come 5 months later. And by that time, the event was over. So
I watch a lot of Westerns, and, and they get a letter from back east or something. Okay, so Mildred is buying a farm and getting married and stuff. And this is like 3 months ago. And we're now just getting the.
No, exactly. And, again, we know industrialization had a lot to do with it. So at this time, the train system had a lot to do with the betterment of mail, etc. Yeah, as opposed to the Pony Express. But it still took a long time, especially if it was cross country. Forget overseas.
Yes, and the Pony Express riders had to go through hell a lot to get to bring you your mail or that message. Mm. And now we just do this and type a couple clicks on the phone and send a text. Apple
Exactly.
Lisa is born July 30th, 1979.
Wow.
You were saying something?
No, I was like, Apple Lisa, go ahead. I forgot all about that.
Yes, Apple began works on the Lisa, which would become the world's first commercial computer with a graphical user interface. Originally intended to sell for $2,000 back in the day. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. And shipped in 1981, the Lisa is delayed until 1983 and sells for $10,000. Utilizing technology that is ahead of its time, the high cost, relative lack of software, and some hardware reliability issues ultimately sink the success of the Lisa.
Really?
10 grand already sunk that. Okay. Wow. However, much of the technology introduced by the Lisa influenced the development of the Macintosh as well as other future computer operating system designs. Just saying. Okay, that was a lot of money. I'm not doing 10 grand for a computer.
Who wants to do 2 grand for a computer? That hurts now.
Right. Okay, I can do 11, 12. I'm cool. And I train it, trade it in for an upgrade. I'm even cooler. But I'm not doing 10. Sorry. That was a lot. That was a lot of money.
It's all most people. How many people made $10,000 a year back then? Let's be clear. So, to spend your entire year's salary on that was a little.
And people are complaining about the cost of an Apple computer now, but this is peanuts compared to back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And it didn't do that much back then. So you're talking about you're wanting me to pay so much for something that doesn't have that much software, doesn't have that much functionality. So, and they were surprised that it was going to tank.
Okay, perhaps it was the cool factor they were buying it for. I don't know, because anyway. July 31st, 1971, using the battery-powered lunar roving vehicle, LRV, astronaut David Scott of the Apollo 15 mission becomes the first person to drive a vehicle on the moon. Okay, I'm not gonna even go there right now. The LRV was used during the last 3 missions to the moon, Apollo 15, 16, and 17. The 3 LRVs used during the mission still remain on the surface of the moon. So why have we not built a colony on the moon yet?
It's not habitable. It takes.
Oh, wait. Oxygen?
Yeah. Just like their beloved Mars.
Okay. I'm thinking to myself, all of these travels we've had to the moon and they driving on the moon. Okay, and that was years away. That was 1971. They haven't built a house on the moon. Okay. There's something about the oxygen that we need to breathe, and don't the trees produce oxygen? So then people need to really do their calculations before we try doing. Look, moon is better than Mars.
Okay, slightly. At least you could
Like,
come back from the moon. It's not that far, but I don't understand those people with the human spirit that feel that they have to conquer everything and be everywhere. I'm not saying don't explore and be curious, but you do that with the purpose of colonization. Honestly, what way? And they keep saying, "Oh, well, we're doing studies on what? What is it going? What on what for what?" That's what I need to know. You're spending excess money that could be, better spent in other places on all these fantastic ideas that aren't necessarily going to amount to anything now. If they do ever, it's going to be a long time from now. These places are not habitable, people. Can you improve what you have that is habitable? I mean,
August 1st, 1981, MTV, presumably standing for music television, launches on cable TV.
yes.
As most people know, after the introduction sequence, the first video played was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. However, a bit of trivia is that the second song played was You Better Run by Pat Benatar. MTV had an immediate impact on the music industry and was an iconic symbol of the technology-driven 1980s.
It was.
August 1st, 1980, it was, MTV got a rap like, oh my God, don't let your kids watch it. And the videos, like, I think we were talking about it last week, but the videos were not that good when they
No,
first came out.
no, they weren't using high end. They were basically using videotape to record these things as opposed to film. Later, which was the industry standard for the film industry. But later people figured out that music videos are basically short films. And so that they needed to up the level of these things to keep interest. After a while, the 1970s thing wasn't going to work anymore.
And I wonder what artist brought
Yeah.
that short film to the world. I wonder what artist did that.
Could that be MJ?
MJ, yes, he was doing it
Mhm.
and they were calling him crazy for spending all this money and making films, and look where we are now.
Absolutely. I mean, but he started off with the janky video too.
Yeah, he did.
Remember, Rock With You was all the, several people
Jackson
of
era.
him. Yes.
That's the Jacksons era. When he
I was like, but
that
now
was him coming out
what
of the
was
Jackson era.
Smooth Criminal? I'm sorry, that was off the chain. Now
I
that
can
was
still
a
watch
movie.
that now. I watch that now.
I'm telling you.
And remember
And
the
he
time?
borrowed it from Fred.
Yes.
Yes. And
Well,
he borrowed it from Fred.
And Fred was one of his mentors, and he talked about how he got to meet him and talk about dancing. So all of those things are homages to his I guess the people that he looked up to,
Yes.
Right.
And we can't Jackie Wilson and James Brown to them too. So yeah.
Right. And so I was watching something on, I don't know if it was TCM or whatever, and I'm like, hey, and it was Fred Astaire, and they were doing the whole Smooth Criminal thing. I was like, oh, I guess it came.
Yeah.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Inspired by Fred. He was inspired. So
yeah, he just took it up a couple of notches. It was good. So
yeah.
So it was really good. August 1st, 1986, Apple discontinues the production of the Macintosh XL, effectively ending the life of the Apple Lisa computer platform. A moment of silence. Okay, now. In January of 1985, the Macintosh line of computers was gaining momentum, but the Lisa line of computer was not selling well. At 10 Gs, I don't think so. In order to salvage what they could from the Lisa and offer a more powerful Macintosh computer, Apple created the Macintosh XL model by modifying a Lisa 2/10 computer to run the Macintosh operating system. Apple continued the Lisa in April of 1985, but continued production of the hybrid Lisa Macintosh until this date.
Wow.
Yeah. And our final story, the first San Francisco cable car, August 2nd, 1873. The Clay Street Railroad begins operation, making its first cable car in San Francisco's now famous cable car system. And that
Oh,
is your week in tech history.
wow,
Wouldn't
that's
think of a cable car as tech, but it is tech, isn't it?
oh, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It revolutionized the way that people get around and the whole concept of mass transit. So,
Hmm.
hmm
Yes.
I guess I could have, yeah, because it's all up and down, and it's kind of like it's probably better than the bus, but
yeah, I'm sure. I've never ridden the cable car though.
Me either. I haven't. I haven't.
no, I haven't done. I've been to San Francisco many times, and I don't ever think I've jumped on the cable car. I
Hmm.
don't do the tourist things anyway, but I guess I should try that.
Right, right.
Oh wait, I did do Alcatraz.
Oh,
When you go to
how?
Alcatraz, you will be walking. I'm
Wow.
just going to tell you now.
Yeah.
There are hills.
Wow.
You will walk. Uh, yeah, be in good shape. Wear some good tennis shoes.
Wow. Going to a prison
Walking up
doesn't.
a hill.
Wow. Well, going to a prison doesn't sound like an extraordinary amount of fun. Was it interesting at least?
It was interesting. That I like history, so
Okay.
um,
Me
yeah. So
too.
when you go in there, you get to see where the prisoners stayed and the whole thing. And they used to do this. Mark is funny. They used to do where you went in and they allowed you to walk into the cells, and then they closed the doors
Oh
so
Oh.
you could get the so you could get the experience
no,
of
Mm-mm,
thanks.
what it was like
mm-mm.
when you heard the door shut. You don't and until one time the door shut, they could not open it, and this lady was stuck there until they could get somebody to come
And
and
cut it.
open the
Cut
doors.
the.
I was like,
No.
nope, I'm sorry, do not shut the doors. They had the place where they where the, I guess, the medical place where the infirmary, is that what it's called?
Yes. Infirmary.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
showed the infirmary, and you got to look in there because, yeah,
What is the
infirmary slash morgue. So
what
it
is
was
the
not.
fascination with some people to feel the full experience? Like it's not good enough just to go to Alcatraz and see all of the artifacts and the things and imagine it. Oh no, you got to go in the cell and they got to close the door. No thanks.
And they're all
I don't.
probably
It's
like,
the same. And so they are the same people who probably want to go to Mars. Um,
I
yeah,
don't
it is
understand it.
just.
I don't
Now
need
I
to go
love the
that
boat
far.
trip. I like the boat trip going over because it is on an island,
Mhm.
and it was interesting that the people who worked there, their kids, there was a school on site.
oh God, no.
Really?
Yes,
Mm-mm.
so there was housing, and it was interesting.
Really? So
And it is literally.
people did not go back and forth every day?
They live there on an island. Wow.
No, thank you.
Wow.
Mhm.
Just
Separation of
interesting.
church and state. No, thank you.
Interesting.
It is interesting though, so I'm sure it's quite historical. Wow.
Mm-hmm. But like
Yeah,
I
and the
said, I
water
don't
was
need to go
probably
that
instead
far.
of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and escape was. I think there was one person that escaped. I don't know that maybe made it, but I'm like, why would you try? Okay, there's shark and
Sharks in the
crab,
water.
and it's
Yeah.
cold,
Really?
and it's cold. Yeah, so it's shark infested waters, and so in here, because it's California, people think it's all warm. No, that's Southern California. The
Right.
water up here is cold. In San Francisco, is icy cold water.
Think
Yeah.
Canada. Think
Yeah.
Canada, people. Northern California. Think
Wow.
Canada.
Well, I thought the water even in
So
LA area, Southern California was cold. It's not cold?
not really. It's not bath temperature, but it's not icy
It's not
cold. It
icy.
can,
Okay.
it's a little still, yeah, it's
So it's not like the water here. Like the water here is warm.
No, it's not like Florida. No. Once you leave Florida, there's nothing like Florida. Okay,
that's true.
You're in Florida.
We're not that close to the equator. Now in
That's
Mexico, probably a little warmer. We're not that close to the equator. So anyway, I just thought, okay. So, do we want to do media first, or do we want to do social media? I'm sure we got little tidbits of whatever's happening in the world of Facebook.
Well, we can start with media. Let's start with me. We always start with Facebook. Let's leave them.
Let's start with media. What's happening in the media news?
We get them too much shine.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And because I've noticed my Apple TV, I believe the Apple TV is up and running, that I could what is the word? Subscribe to different channels now. I'm like, what is this?
Apple TV Plus, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was they were
now.
It was supposed to launch. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting. It's like, okay, so what's the difference between this and Hulu and Well, I know Netflix is a totally different thing, but
Apple TV Plus is they've got some exclusive things. So if you remember during the Apple event, TJ, you remember where they brought on all the celebrities, including Oprah and
I forgot who.
Jennifer Aniston and J.J. Abrams and everybody under the sun in Hollywood.
Did they bring out Spielberg?
Spielberg,
yes.
Spielberg too.
Yes, he came out too.
So, they teased all of this and all of their content. So those are, that's exclusive content that they have from these creators on that platform. So they named a couple, also Steve Carell as well. I think he's in that same show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. Yeah. So they have these exclusive programs, and So the thing is, in order to see these programs, you obviously have to be subscribed to Apple Plus. So we'll see if the star power of these people is enough to get people to subscribe or to actually accept Apple Plus as a part of the game.
Because I was
streaming. Do we have streaming overload, streaming media overload app?
I think so, because Mark has on their PlayStation View, Hulu, Live, Sling, Apple TV,
HBO Plus,
HBO Plus, BET Plus, Disney Plus. The HBO is actually HBO Max. So there are. So this is what I was saying on Wednesday, that what I am fearful of with this overload of over-the-top channels and networks is that people will be so overwhelmed by so much choices. When you go to the Cheesecake Factory, right? And what happens is you tend to order the same thing all the time because you're overwhelmed by all the choice.
Too many choices.
I particularly love choice, but some people, they can't. It's information overload. It's cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
So I'm fearful that people are going to go running back to traditional cable because at least somebody, picked it for them. And I didn't have, maybe I had to choose a few channels, but now this is too much. I have to already go to work. Now I got to choose this.
Now we got niche watching. So if you have kids and you like Disney stuff, then you're going to get Disney. If you like Hulu, you're going to stick with Hulu. If you like Netflix, you're going to stick with them. So I don't see all of these companies coming out with all the streaming apps because they're thinking, oh, well, we're going to get a piece of this pie and that pie. And people are going to go, like you said, it's overwhelming. It's too much. I don't have kids that watch Disney, so I'm not going to ever get that.
Right.
I'm not ever getting that.
Exactly.
Just like if ESPN did something, I'm not ever getting ESPN. If I want to watch sports, I'll, see the highlights or what. I don't have a desire for that. So those things, they're not going to get me as a customer. So I'm thinking, what are they thinking? Like, I want to stick with Netflix. I want to stick with Hulu. Those are the things that have what I want to watch. Let's see what Apple Plus has. And I don't know.
So because it comes up, I have Apple TV. So I'm like, okay, what is this? And now I have a barrage of stuff, and everything I've ever watched, it says watch next. So that because I have, Prime.
Right.
I got Prime Video, so I watch a lot of stuff from Prime Video. But Prime
Yeah, I
Video
like
has the
Prime Video
same
too.
thing. Well,
Hmm.
you can buy on via Prime. So
Yes.
you have Prime Video, and then you can get specialty channels via Prime. So I think that's what Apple has just done. You have Apple, but then you
Hmm.
can buy all these subscriptions
Right.
through your Apple
Yeah, I
device.
seen that in Prime
And
where it's a show, and I look at it and I go, oh, and then it goes to it goes to a screen and it says, okay, you can buy it from HBO for like $2.99, a little a small price, or you buy it from whatever channel
Right.
for a
right,
smaller
so
price.
they're offering you you can buy it. It's like with Roku, you can buy the
Hmm.
CBS, or you can buy the HBO or whatever. Instead of it all being in one package on the cable network or the satellite, it is now you can put the apples in your basket, put something else in your basket, and
Hmm.
by the time you keep putting all that stuff in your basket, you are right back to paying the 200 and something dollars a month you were paying.
Exactly. Exactly. And what happens is, in a sense, you're kind of paying it out to all these different entities as opposed to one entity. So, it's like
Right.
I think people like consolidation. And what could end up happening is that the age old, and not exactly the same types of cable packages, but the cable packages in a new format will start to arise again. And that's because everybody, all the people, entities are just, they operate with no sense. It's like, so one person does it, everybody else has to do it. And now you've spoiled the landscape in terms of, but it's not like they care. They're not necessarily uh, looking as the consumer's job one anyway. They're trying to make money off of it. They're not doing it to be nice. So,
Did you see
Okay,
Mark?
so
Did
we
you see
have jokes.
Mark's comment?
hold on, I
Mark
missed it.
is funny. My time is limited. I will eventually need for them to create the technology that enables me to binge seasons in my sleep instead of dreaming. I watched season 2 of Big Little Lies.
So you
Okay.
want to download to your brain, kind of like what Facebook wants to do, huh? Download to your brain
I'm just
and
like,
let me watch it while I'm sleeping.
Well, and then, but see, then you would have all sorts of, what if that has an effect on your brain when you do those types of things?
It will.
Yeah,
it does.
it
It
does,
will.
but I'm like a significant effect where you start, okay, acting out things or what, because of
Well,
what you've been exposed to.
You could
well,
be
it
Kim
does
Kardashian
because
in your sleep.
people who well, it
Sorry.
depends on what you've been watching too, because they got some weird stuff out there. I saw Netflix. There
Mhm.
was some weird show on Netflix. I was like, "What is that?" Uh, it's just weird. Okay, and then there's Black Mirror, which is supposed to be kind of
Oh,
be like a Twilight Zone type thing. I was like,
Yes,
"Whoa,
yes,
okay,
it is.
yes,
I've heard of
yes.
it. I
yeah,
haven't
it
watched
is.
it.
Yeah,
Black
it's a
Mirror
little
is actually
weird, but
quite well done. It's quite well done.
it is."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Ooh, you if you thought Rod Serling did some stuff, it's all around tech."
Mm-hmm.
The Black Mirror
Mm.
stuff is based around tech. It was kind of
Okay.
interesting. I was like,
Gonna check that out. Look at
yes.
Wow.
Okay, Taji, continue on with our media
yes.
news.
Yes, with the media. Okay, so there are always a lot of things going on in media. I'll pick a few choice things. So Disney, actually, speaking of Disney Plus and all that, they've actually laid off dozens more at their film studio, and the Fox Research Library is set to close down. So they let go of
Mhm.
several dozen. I don't know the exact number, but they said, according to Deadline Hollywood, several dozen staffers have been let go of Disney's film and visual effects units, including Fox Studio being absorbed into the company. So 250 workers have been let go to date. So this latest, I don't know how many, but to date it's 250 workers, which that's quite a bit. 250 people can do a lot at a studio.
Mhm.
So several key executives also have been let go as of yesterday. So it's not just, staffers and stuff, it's also key executives. On the Fox side, they include the head of visual effects, John Kilkenny, executive VP of Feature Production, Fred Barron, Executive VP of Physical Production, Dana Belcastro, and the Executive VP of Post-Production, Fred Chandler, according to Variety. And Disney said that they're also, as I said, going to shut down the Fox Research Library before January 6th, 2020. And the plans to fold the library's contents, which includes a really valuable collection of 19th century books, newspapers, and 1920s fashion magazines, as well as World War II materials, those are going to be folded into their own archive. So they're not going anywhere. They're just going to be folded into their own archives.
Wow. So, Disney has acquired not the entire Fox network, or just the Fox movie department.
Right. There are several 20th Century Fox films. I think it's also 21st Century Fox TV. Fox Sports is separate and Fox News is separate. So there are a few Fox things that have been acquired, but they've also acquired FX and FXX. So
now, because see, FX was having their own that was a whole nother thing on cable or Sling TV. They had their whole FX movies. FX is where you could watch the movies on a Saturday. Apparently, Disney said, no, not so. Disney is a powerhouse because they own ESPN. They own several things. They are in affiliation with Pixar, or they own Pixar too, or a portion of Pixar. So they are major.
Absolutely. They are a major entity. So when you have the combining of all of these, Disney is wildly powerful, because we also don't forget ABC on the network side. Disney owns ABC. So they are wildly powerful when it comes to the entertainment business. And dare I say, in some small way, tech, right? Because entertainment technology, they're also big in as well, with, the owning of some of Pixar, etc. So this has major implications.
And they own Marvel.
Yeah, and Marvel, of course. I mean, why do you think that all of these Marvel properties are coming down off of Netflix? It's not a coincidence that a lot of these things all left. They're prepping everybody for Disney Plus. So I don't know. I won't be watching Disney Plus because I'm not paying for another channel. That's the the bottom line with that. So again, there's this. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say PBS is getting in. Oh, so you don't have to sign up and give your membership. PBS, they have a thing if you want to watch Endeavor or any of their Dalton Abbey or whatever it is, you're gonna pay PBS for $6.99 or $5.99 a month. Yes, ma'am.
And I don't blame PBS for getting in the game. Frankly, I thought they should have gotten in the game earlier. PBS is member supported, and it's also quasi-governmental. So they get some government funding from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So because of that, it's a tough. They're not ad supported. It's very tough for an entity that is not ad supported to really raise a lot of revenue. You're depending on the kindness of strangers who like watching. They come on. Well, if you enjoy watching Sesame Street with your kids, consider giving a $100 gift where you can get this free water bottle. They always do that every. And they do. The cycles are more often now, which means costs are increased in terms of production, etc. Why? I mean, even though this is separate, remember, Sesame Workshop was acquired by who? HBO. And that was a movie. It's expensive to do all these things. It's really expensive. And they're not doing it through ads. So PBS, that's fine. If you get people to pay for Downton Abbey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, if they can, because the movie's coming out next month, so that's going to generate interest for people who haven't seen the series. I think there's like 6 seasons or something. So that would the movie can send people who haven't seen it or heard it. And Downton Abbey is a British TV show, so it's in partnership with. Is it ITV, BBC, or something, and PBS? So
all of them
paid the cost, so they shared it.
Absolutely.
So you can't get I was watching Endeavor and Inspector Morse and all of that, right? Oh, they had that stuff boxed up. If you want to watch Endeavor, you have pay PBS. If
Mhm.
you want to watch Inspector Morris to find out what happened to Endeavor, then you need to pay BritBox
Mark,
$5.99.
market is jokes. Yeah,
Like it's
BritBox.
funny,
I checked that out, and I was like, wow, this is like all the
right?
stuff I want to watch. But
If I was going to, because you know me, I'm staunch in not paying extra for things.
yes,
But if I was going to pay extra for something, I probably would do BritBox because they have so many properties that I really would love to
right,
watch. And
right.
if I could add
Right.
something, speaking of BritBox and British TV, Luther, who stars Idris Elba,
Idris Elba. Mm-hmm.
Doctor Who, which is one I'm a huge Whovian. Um,
Woo!
yeah,
I never got
and
into it.
the UK Office, which is the
Yes,
original
the
Office,
original. Mhm.
their libraries are headed to HBO Max in a BBC deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So HBO Max they're not just satisfied with the content here. They're going across the pond and the universe for their latest acquisition. The Warner Media platform has picked up the streaming rights to Doctor Who and other British series as part of a long-term deal with BBC Studios. So all 11 seasons of of the historic series will come to service upon launch in 2020. So this service is launching next year, as we know. And under the deal, HBO Max has also licensed several hundred episodes of other hit shows like mostly The Office, Top Gear, which I absolutely love as well, Luther, and The
yeah.
Honorable Woman. So HBO Max is not here to play. They're like, okay, let's go across the pond and see what we can do there.
Wow.
Mhm.
Carlos says Carlos says I want to do a show called Dr. Y.
You should. You should. I'll watch if it's anything like Doctor Who.
Yeah, because I was and I stumbled upon Doctor Who one day, and it was on PBS
Yep, that's how they get you.
when I
That's
saw
how
it.
I started watching
Yeah,
a
and I was
lot of
like,
shows.
oh,
PBS.
yeah, and then Sherlock
And
Holmes. I like Sherlock Holmes, and I'm talking about the modern one.
yes, the new one.
With
Yeah.
Brent. Yeah,
I like the old
and
one
I
with
was like,
Ezra Rabbone. I like the old ones too.
I
So
like that one too. Yeah,
yeah.
you can get all those on Prime
Yes.
Video.
Yeah. So it just depends on whether or not you want to pay for a package to be able to see these at will, or you want to on Prime. Are they you have to pay for them, or are they included with Prime?
Some are available with Prime, and some things when you click on it or go to it, it'll tell you.
It will tell you, right?
Yeah, it'll say it's on HBO, and you pay like $2.99, and then you pay the $2.99, and then brings it into
Right.
So
yeah,
some are and some aren't. You won't know until you see the title and you click on it, and then it'll either play or it'll say, there's an option to buy.
And see, that's something that is for individuals that are not wanting to buy an entire package to do something. So maybe you don't want to pay for HBO to get a few things you want. That is a good option to be able to pay and for the things you want. So for example, I'm a huge Queen Sugar fan, but I don't have OWN. And that's because Sling doesn't carry OWN yet. So I can't watch these things except I could go to Amazon and buy the entire season and watch it that way. And I'm enough of a Queen Sugar fan that I'll do that.
Right. And that's one of the shows on my list that I have to, that's on my list, Queen Sugar, to watch. I just haven't had time. It's there. It's like, okay, I got all these things I want to watch. And that's one of them.
Yeah.
So you got to find the time. And then, like you said, you got to get the right app. Where is it? It's OWN, but some OWN shows like
it's not everywhere,
right? I think Greenleaf is on OWN and another one of the other apps. Streaming.
I watch
Greenleaf is on Amazon too.
I think Greenleaf was on something because my husband was binging it, and I was like, I think it was either Netflix. I don't know.
Netflix.
Okay. It was Netflix.
Okay.
So it's coming
to. Why would they do Queen Sugar like that? Is Queen Sugar like that on OWN? And can I watch it on Netflix?
Well, no, just Amazon as
well. Oh, Amazon. Okay, but I have to buy it.
And then
okay.
So is OWN coming to Apple TV?
Could be.
Be-
Could be.
Nobody has said anything yet, but I would not be surprised if
Don't get
that's
shocked.
something that's in the word. Don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked when it's on Apple Plus. Don't be shocked. Don't get mad. That's Oprah's property.
So Mark said Queen Sugar is on Hulu if you don't mind being a season behind. And that's the thing that I didn't like about Hulu is like,
I got rid of my
hey, Hulu. We are over here, but you like I like watching Murdoch Mysteries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Murdoch Mysteries on season 11 or season 12, going on 13, but on Hulu or whatever, you're like in season 4. I was like, hold on, we're a little bit behind. So
yeah, and that's how like the Great British Baking Show is on Netflix, but it's like behind. And I'm like, I love that show. And the new season is coming out in a month or so. I don't know when the date is, but I'm like, okay, I want to see the new ones. And I can't.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to see all of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know what it is? It's those are not really made for you, for people like you that want to see the new things. They're made for people who don't mind rewatching old episodes and for people who have never seen them before, you know. Okay. So it's bringing this type of content to new audiences. It's not for y'all.
It's not for. It's like you got to be behind. You guys are behind. So I wish they would get it.
And exactly.
And maybe the new PBS streaming app would do that. Like whenever the new British show is out, it could show it at the same time. I don't know.
Because they only
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go
ahead. Go
ahead,
because you know the.
Well, I think that's an interesting thing because now we're talking about because PBS for the most part. Before the BritBoxes or BBC Americas or whatever, the way we got our British content in the States was through PBS, right? So we're now talking about if they're going to do that, they would be then competing with the BritBoxes and then the HBO Maxes, okay, with British content. So I want to see what they're going to do about this. And I'm sure they're paying very close attention they paid close attention when BritBox did something. And I'm sure they're now paying very close attention to HBO Max.
Yeah, because see, now there's a lot of cross wiring going on where, okay, well, you can watch Queen Sugar over here, but you can watch Greenleaf over there. And you can watch this BBC ITV show over here, but not that one. Like, what's going on? They got to get this. It's got to straighten out, and the fallout will straighten it out, I guess, when some of these channels, these streaming apps come out and they see that people aren't really going to buy what they have because I can, I already have Netflix, I already have Hulu. I might add Apple. I might add this one. I might add that one, but not all of them. Not gonna add all of them. So that's
not if there's a replication in the content.
And the replication, of course, Warren. And why can't I get one own TV show on Netflix and one own TV show I gotta go to? See how that works. It's like must be the licensing deal or the production company or whatever.
Right, it's the licensing deals that are made. Okay. At the end of the day, these people, nobody is doing any of this to be nice. They're doing it to make money. So they're going to go where the licensing deal is the sweetest. And if that means then this is over here on Hulu and this is over here on Amazon, well, then bloody hell, that's what it's going to be. None of this, let's not fool ourselves. None of this is to make our lives easier, though we are the main reason that any of this exists.
Right. You see Carlos's, I'll bring it up. Carlos's comment, very interesting here. Soon there will be licensing with multiple platforms because of different demographics and audience. He's dealing with that now. And then he says, it's about the money. Yep.
Absolutely. Carlos knows. Carlos knows.
It's about the money.
Yeah. And because they have Urban TV or something on Apple. I was like, okay, what's that?
Do they have the Urban Movie Channel? Is that UMC?
Yes.
Okay.
They have Urban Music Channel on Apple. On the Apple as one of the channels you could subscribe to.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then they got some other channels. I'm like, why?
And see, the thing is with me, you talking about Apple TV. I have Apple TV, and I'm like, I haven't looked at it yet because I got a Roku TV, and I look at the stuff on Roku. So then I have to remember I have an Apple TV and go to the Apple TV, and now I got to see what's there. It's just too much and so little time. And it's summer, like I said, people are out doing things and not watching TV on TV, they're doing it on their devices. So you gotta factor
Absolutely.
that in too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another end of the
Yeah.
spectrum, the device thing. So you've
Mhm.
got Chromecast, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV. So you've got all of these different set-top boxes, basically, these different hardware devices that allow all of these things to happen. So it's like, then do you know, you probably are not going to get more than one. There are many people who have more than one. Like I just
Right.
picked up a Fire Stick during Prime Day because it
Yeah.
was super cheap.
Right.
And I wanted to see what I could do with it.
Yeah.
And I'll stop there. But so
Yeah.
I don't understand. So on Apple TV, it says
Android.
try Apple TV channels. CBS All Access, Epix is
Mhm.
over there.
Mhm.
HBO, Showtime, Stars, Cinemax, Smithsonian Channel Plus, PBS Living.
That's what it's
not the
called?
regular PBS. No, that's PBS Living. That's not the regular PBS.
Yes.
Acorn TV. Acorn is another British
Yeah.
a gathering of shows.
Wow.
Sundance Now, Lifetime Movie Club, Urban Movie Channel, Taste Made, Curiosity Stream, MTV Hits, Comedy Central Now, Shudder, like SHUDDER, H Vault, which is the History Vault, History TV, MUBI, don't ask me what that is, Arrow Video Channel.
So
Remember
it sounds
when I was a kid? When I was a kid, there was 3 channels.
CBS,
3.
ABC, NBC, and then you had your local affiliate,
We
which
didn't have
then
Fox.
became
Fox
Fox.
wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. Come on. I'm like, now we got all of that list. It just makes me, when am I going to find time to watch it?
Okay, and some of these channels, like this one, is it's MUBI's movie, I guess it's pronounced. Curated festival hits and cult classics from around the globe.
Okay. Wait, yeah, that's also on Fire Stick and also on Roku.
Yeah, it's $10 and $10.99 a month. I'm like, for old movies. Did they say cult classics? Cult classics is AKA old movies.
And I love old movies. I love classic film, but am I
I'm just not
willing
paying
to
$10
pay
for
for it? No,
Right.
no.
No.
And here, this is where we start to get into the difficult part. If you say you have a Netflix, and the least expensive plan at this point is $11.99, so you have your Netflix, and then you say you want to add something like a Hulu. Well, okay, if you have Spotify, if you pay for Spotify, it gives you Hulu, and I can't remember how much that is, like $10. Then maybe you have an Amazon, which is $10.99, or I think it went up to $11.99 or something like that. There, you're already paying over $30. Okay,
right.
Then, if you want live TV, you pay for something like a Sling or a YouTube TV or a Hulu TV or Philo or any of those other live TV apps. Okay, this is the least expensive. For example, with a Sling is $25 a month. After taxes, it really ends up being like in the high 30s. You're now at almost $70.
Wow.
And you only have 4 things. So you really have to determine, you have to know what it is you want to get out of your entertainment experience for the a la carte to work.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You have to know what it is you want. You can't go in and say, well, I want everything. It's going to cost you a whole bunch of money. So you got to say, well, I'm in a dessert mood, specifically cheesecake. And I want, say, a strawberry cheesecake or something, something like, and you have to go in with that mindset. I only want that one flavor of thing. And then you decide, well, I had enough of that. Maybe I'll stop it and maybe I'll try another flavor. Or I'll try something else. Maybe I'll go into the savories. I'm out of dessert. Let me go way over here to that's what you got to do. You got to go into it with, I'm not going to watch everything. But there's so much news of it coming out that most people are going to get overwhelmed because they like easy and simple. And that's what you mean about cable. Cable is easy and simple. I pay the bill. I turn on the box. I turn on my TV. Boom. That's
right.
it.
And what's going to happen the second time around, providing this does come, but I am guessing that this is going to happen, is that they're going to start to pay more attention to the patterns of viewing of entertainment based off of all of this and start to tailor things a little bit more to the consumer. Because before, remember, there were like 17 million HBOs and all these things that you really didn't care about. And they didn't care because there were no alternatives. So they could determine what you were going to get. But now that you can do it a la carte and you have choice, they're going to figure out, if they haven't already, that consumers want to be able to have choices in what they select, and that they don't just want the 17 million HBOs that show the same thing. So they're going to retool their strategy to draw you in and keep you this time.
Consumers want choice. They don't want a lot of choice. You don't want to be overwhelmed with it. It seems like since Netflix has been out since the 90s or whatever, I forgot how long, Netflix and then Hulu, is like each one came along and took a piece of the pie, and then the others, they got big eyes and went, okay, we can do that too. Disney says, okay, we can do that too, because we've got a library of content. And then here comes this one and that one, but you're like, people are like, well, wait a minute, it's like a zombie movie, too many zombies coming.
Like, wait, and you try to fight them all off.
I can't fight you all off. So that, I feel like that's what it is. So it's like, I got a good thing with Netflix. I'm riding with that.
Exactly.
I love the Prime.
And so here's your PBS Living.
Okay.
You're not getting your British stuff over there. I'm just telling you. You will get the Great British Baking Show.
That's what I like. Yes.
You get This Old House. Okay, really? I don't either. You will get America's Test Kitchen.
Oh, I like America's Test Kitchen.
Oh, I love that Test Kitchen. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Ask This Old House.
I like Ask
Finding
This Old
Your
House.
Roots.
I
like Finding Your Roots.
Yeah, Rivers of Life. The French Chef.
Julia Child.
Isn't this the stuff that's already on the PBS app? PBS has an app, because I have it on
PBS has an app. But
this is the PBS Living.
Okay.
See, this is what I want to know now is PBS also has a property called Create. Yeah. What is the difference then between this PBS Living and Create? Because a lot of those cooking shows and all those things are on Create. So how are they going to reconcile that? Granted, Create is free, right? So I'm wondering how they're going to reconcile of this. Right. So
this is $2.99 a month. So
if I could watch Create for free and get some of these things, are they then saying, all right, well, we're not going to have this, and this on Create. It will all move over here, which may anger some diehard PBS people.
Right. I'm looking for, what was that guy that used to be on there, the guy from Louisiana, and he used to pour alcohol in the food. Where's he?
Chef Paul Prudhomme.
Yeah, where's he?
Yeah,
Chef Paul Prudhomme
where is he?
Is somewhere. I went to his restaurant in New Orleans. I didn't like it that much. But anyway, sorry.
Well, I just like the way, I like watching him cook. That was fun, just watching him.
But the one that sat down all the time, funny. Right? That's who we're talking about. Or
my God is
the one who had.
I love Jacques Pepin.
And he
I love Jacques Pepin.
And he had the he said just a little of this, and he was pouring like, I was like, dude, that is more than a little. Okay.
Well, there's two New Orleans chefs. So there was but I don't think the other one was on.
He was older
and big, right?
Old. Yeah, and he was and you could almost hardly, because he was speaking Cajun. So I don't remember his name. I just remember him, and he's like, you just put a little of this like this, and I was like, dude, seriously?
Yeah. I remember, yes, I can't think of who that.
I know who exactly you're talking about. He used to wear suspenders and jeans when he cooked.
Yes.
And he was in the Ruffles commercials back in the day for the Cajun spiced ones.
Yeah.
Right. He was funny. I like him. Now I'll watch him. But anyway. So what else do we have in the media news? It's just.
Oh, okay. You're liking the media news.
Yeah,
okay.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see what else is happening in media news. So beyond that, this is really interesting. Spotify Ad Studio now offers targeting, real-time context targeting. So yeah, let me explain a little bit of what that is. Spotify has gotten like really big, or is starting to get big now. Remember, they made all these acquisitions. They bought Gimlet Media, they bought Anchor, which means they're really serious about podcasting now. So they're doing all these different things. So they're beefing up their self-serve advertising platform. That's what this is. So it's called Spotify Ad Studio. I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you're not like somebody that would use it, you may not have seen it. So, but it's a self-serve advertising platform, and they've added interest targeting. So now you can target specific interests and real-time context targeting. So what does interest targeting do? It allows brands to reach Spotify free, like me, users based on activities and topics that they're passionate about. And it's determined by their podcast, playlist, and platform preferences. So advertisers can choose from categories like comedy, cooking, and tech, and then really specifically target to you. Okay. And then real-time context targeting brings the ability to reach Spotify free listeners when they're listening to streaming at specific moments in the day. So now advertisers have the ability to choose from real-time context, like when you're working out or studying or dinner time, and deliver that right message at the right moment.
Okay.
So, yeah. So advertising
So they're tracking us.
Go ahead. Yes.
So they're tracking us pretty much. See, because we think because we're getting it for free that we're really getting it for free.
My dear, nothing is for free. As my mother says, my dear, nothing is free. So it's not free. You're paying with your time, or you're paying with your data. And in this case, you're paying with your data. So none of this is coincidence. They're targeting you, and they are tracking you. So some people may think it's a cool thing. Advertisers definitely think it's a cool thing because it allows them to target the exact people that they want to target. The consumer may not think it's such a cool thing.
This is different than the Nielsen ratings too, where it was a pain in the butt to go get Nielsen ratings. And now the advertisers are like, woo, we're getting this stuff and it's costing us a whole lot less money than it did before.
Well, technology has enabled that type of thing, because remember back in the day with Nielsen, you only had specific people who were Nielsen families, and they had these boxes. You also had to do a diary and record everything that you did. It was the same thing for radio. It was Arbitron ratings, and so you had to do your diary. I've done the Arbitron thing before. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like filling all this out, but because I was affiliated with the radio station, we all did it. So it's the days of the old antiquated measurement techniques are gone, and basically anybody is now game to be measured for the delight of all these advertisers.
That's right. And for ads, you need to measure, and you need that data, you need that information in order to say, okay, well, this ad is working better than that. So it's all about measurement, and data collection from us is just that's the game. They don't want you to. They don't like Facebook. They don't want to. I mean, I'm not in Facebook. I'm just saying. I would think they would want to keep it where it is, where they get information from you and allow advertisers to see that in order to target you. Versus, okay, everybody pay $2 a month for Facebook, or everybody $5 a month. They're not going to get it. They're just going to get money from users. This way, they get a whole treasure trove of stuff they can make tons of money off. And like Tachi said, all these businesses or corporations are in it to make money. It's not about, oh yeah, we might give the customer what they want or make them happy or whatever. Yeah, that's great. That's gravy to them. The meat is, okay, we're getting the ads, we're getting the ad dollars, we're getting the analytics to get more ad dollars. That's what it is.
These people are not your friends. They are not your friends. No. So I don't know why people act like they're, and then they get your friends.
They get mad when they change the algorithm, or they change something. Like right now, they're mad with YouTube because now YouTube has changed the algorithm to force family friendly kid content to the front of everything. And we're talking about people who don't have kids and would never be interested in watching content with kids. They're even complaining now, saying all I'm seeing is kid-friendly stuff when you go into YouTube, in the trending, or the stuff they offer you when you go into your YouTube channel. So that's what's going on. What makes an advertiser happy? Family-friendly content, not the stuff that you've been doing on YouTube. No one said that you have to stop your ranting, or you talking about this fringe thing or that conspiracy. You can talk about it all you want. You're just not going to make money off of it, because YouTube was it always in the game. Google always in the game of making money. Ads, advertising. What makes an advertiser happy? Family friendly, no cussing, no this, no that content. YouTube has now made another adjustment to the algorithm to bring that to the front to make advertisers happy. Why? Because you're not paying for YouTube. And they don't want you to. Well, you do pay for YouTube with the YouTube ad free and all of the other things, but that's where YouTube is going.
Absolutely.
They have to make the advertiser happy, not you.
Exactly. And here's the thing. So unless people are and we proved that we weren't willing to pay for YouTube Red, which is why they folded all those properties into regular YouTube. So unless you're willing to pay for the content, these companies have to recoup and get money somehow. And by and large, we have not figured out another system that works better than advertising. It's an antiquated model that has been around since the 1800s and even before that. Okay. And so we haven't figured out a way to monetize that is not really ad based to a large extent. Why do you think the upfronts and new fronts are still such hot things? And where everybody travels to New York and to LA to show what shows they have coming up for the fall. It's for the advertisers. They still do that, and that is still the hottest ticket in town. We haven't figured out another way yet. So unless you are willing to pay for YouTube, and we already showed that we're not, then there's nothing you really have to say.
Exactly. And I'll tell you now, business practices don't change. The tools change. So underneath all this, I said all the time, underneath all this social media and digital marketing, this and that, and you can now reach your customer, through Twitter and all these apps. The underlying principles of how everything works is still business. The way they did it, like Tasha said, in the 1800s and beyond. Business. The only thing that changes is the tool. So instead of the Nielsen ratings and people writing in the diary in a book, and then because I worked for Nielsen and we had to go, I had to, I had a sample of the state I was living in, and I had to go to each little store or the bigger stores or whatever, and we had to actually count what was in the stock room versus what they sold. That's how they did it back then before computers. Now they have a computer database, so they get the information from the stores or the supermarket chain directly. And it all goes down into when Coke says they're number one, they base it off of Nielsen ratings of a sample of this state and that state and that state, showing the sales versus what was sold. So all these principles still work. It's just the tool to get it changes.
They made you work for your money back then.
With that $10,000 computer to enter the data with.
But it was I love working for them because it's an eye-opening experience to see actually what goes. Because I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the Nielsen side, and I've been on the advertising side, working for a big advertising, not even agency, conglomerate of different agencies, and seeing how it works and how the ads are done and the deals are done and what we focus on and what we had to do, all of that. That's where I get all my experience from seeing it from both sides of it. And then being a consumer, knowing that people are not lazy, but they're just give it to me easy. I got too many things going on in my life. Don't make me look at 500 streaming channels. Like Tachi says, people might go back to cable. And cable's like, come on, welcome back. Cable's going to be happy.
They're sitting there like Mr. Burns from Excellent.
They're going to get the cable people, and they're going to get the streaming people because they have streaming apps. So they're happy. So you have to decide, what are you going to do? What are you going to focus on? You can't eat it all. This is the all you eat buffet. It's a myth. You can't eat all of that buffet.
That is such a great analogy because I mean this is part of the reason that I'm not a fan of buffets.
Psychology.
It's psychology, right? You're paying that, but they know you're only the average person.
That's the marketing part of it. All you can eat buffet, $5.99 a pound or whatever. Let's go there. There's no way they know you're not going to eat all of that food. They know it.
You're going to eat what's just enough that you would eat in a normal meal. So
Yes.
they still end up winning anyway, because
Yes.
it's like, even when you go and you take a little bit of this and you're like, I don't like that. I wasted my mouth on that. And then you get full. Like I get full really quickly at those things, which is why I don't go. It's a waste. So if you use that as an analogy for media, people are full. People are getting to they're not there yet. Maybe they have one more room for one of those sweet little Chinese donuts, and that's it. So that's it.
I mean, there's psychological studies that will tell you that humans get overwhelmed by too many choices. Too many. Now, they also don't like when there's not enough choices. So you got to find a sweet spot between not enough and too many.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the streaming stuff, I'm like, I'm good with what I got. I'm not even. I might look at Apple Plus. But I'm good with what I got. It's got to be something that I want. And that's the key. Something that.
Now, here's the thing with the analogy of the all you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting high quality food either. At the all you can eat.
It's junk.
That's true.
It's junk.
You are.
It's not
because you can't afford to give you quality to the masses,
or you have to pay for it. So Vegas is the king and queen of buffets, right?
Yes.
A lot of them are just nonsense. The food may be tasty or whatever, but it's not the highest quality food. Right. Unless you go, like my favorite one is called the Wicked Spoon. It's inside the Cosmopolitan Hotel. That is a high-end buffet. But you're going to pay $35 for it.
Yes. I was going to say, there's a place in Orange, New Jersey that was like that, but it was high end, and it was a place where they had weddings and stuff, and so they had the buffet, but it was a high end buffet with lobster and this and that. It wasn't the $5.99 all you can eat, So that was a good thing, and plus we sat at the table and they brought it to us. We didn't get it to go, but we paid more because there was, linen and silverware and this and a nice atmosphere and better quality food. But it was still, we could eat as much as we want, but we didn't eat as much as we wanted because you don't want to pig out. You just want just enough to say, okay,
exactly,
that's good. I'm satisfied.
So then the thing is, are consumers willing to pay for that Wicked Spoon, or do they just want a whole bunch of $5.99 buffets at XYZ hotel?
You get sick off it. Once you get sick off of that $5.99, you're not going back.
Exactly. And you cough up that $35 for the Wicked Spoon. I'm going to stop saying that because I'm hungry now and it's making me think about.
I'm thinking about lobster. How can I get over to New Jersey today? I don't feel like it, but it's just the fact that that's the analogy that fits is the all you can eat buffet, and it sounds good. It sounds good in your eyes, and you're like you're hungry, and then you get one plate, maybe two, and you try a little bit of that because I've never had mussels. Let me try that kind of thing, and then you go, well, I don't like it, or you get full, and then you're just like, I'm done.
Well, and here's another thing. Sometimes people don't understand what high quality offers them. So just an analogy, I was supposed to have a meeting with someone and we were supposed to talk about something. Now he's a little bit older. And so I noticed older people, Southern people like this place. I suggested, why don't we meet at, I just said Cheesecake Factory because it was close and it was easy and there's a variety of stuff. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't know about that. But have you ever been to Piccadilly Cafe? Now, cafeteria. Now, Piccadilly Cafeteria is a Southern cafeteria style place. It's like not really buffet, huh?
Is it like Cracker Barrel or?
It's like Piccadilly is like a Cracker Barrel. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Southern, and if you
Mhm.
add old people, I shouldn't say it like that, but older people love Piccadilly
They're all there
cafeteria.
at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, exactly. So obviously there was like generational thing differences or
Yes,
whatever, but
yes.
it's like, and I'm not saying that Cheesecake Factory is the highest quality, but to me
Right,
it's higher quality than Piccadilly is.
right. Okay.
So when you're so used to a certain thing, you don't know that there are other things out there. You don't know sometimes that there's higher quality out there, right?
Because
So I mean that goes to, so when you keep picking from these junk media because you think that's all that's available to you, you don't know the higher quality things that are out there. And then because the market is flooded with junk media now, look how much we have.
it's too
So it's
much.
very difficult for consumers to discern what is the high quality wicked spoon media.
Mm-hmm. Unless they go there and try both things and go,
Exactly.
they have to
Exactly.
compare. So,
Exactly.
and who's going to do that? Some will and some won't.
Right, right. And that's
They'll-
what the market depends on.
Mhm.
They depend on people
Complacency. People will be
complacency.
complacent. I'm not
Exactly.
going to jump out my comfort zone unless an ad or word of mouth or something tells me, or a friend of a friend and they share it and I go, oh, I want to try that. Otherwise, that you're out of their sphere of attention. You're
Exactly.
out of it. You're out of it. So
Exactly.
Brian with what? What did Curtis say? What is that, Curtis? Oh.
We could, rhymes with See how Curtis is trying to stir the pot
I see he's in the chat stirring it up.
as usual. As usual. Wow. Well, we're going
We
to
can't
talk
hear
about
his voice though. We can't hear his voice on over here though.
that voice of God. Are we gonna talk about some tech stuff or a tech
Um,
thing
well,
or
it's
no?
kind of we're running out of
Oh,
time.
it's
I mean,
12:15. Yeah.
so
I do have a story if you
yeah,
wanted that
bring it.
media/tech. So Google, and I'm sure you guys read about this. So according to Variety, Google is testing a $4.99 app subscription bundle. Well, let me learn you. So it's a new app subscription bundle that gives users access to premium apps for one monthly price, $4.99. So Google Play Pass is what the subscription offering is being called, and it promises, quote, all play, no interruptions, according to Variety. So it's being tested right now, and it's promising. I'm trying to find out. So, for example, Marvel Pinball, Stardew Valley, Monument Valley, Threesis, Star Wars Coder, and Ticket to Ride. And these are then some kids games like Elmo Loves 1-2-3s. So there seems to be a very heavy emphasis on games. It doesn't mean it's all games, but there's a heavy emphasis on games. So Google's also testing, including some non-gaming titles with specific mentions of fitness apps, like fitness trackers and premium music apps. So this means that it's likely going to be different from Apple Arcade. Remember what they talked about at the Apple event before last, and the game subscription service that they're looking to launch this fall.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're trying to, for one monthly price, you get all these apps.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's some more stuff to pay for and look at and consume. Will you do
So
it?
Google owns YouTube, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so how come they can't bundle all them little things that keep popping up? Do you want to subscribe to so you can just listen to the YouTubes without
without ads?
Agree.
You know, interrupt without ads and all of that? Why don't you put all of that in a bundle? If I'm paying you YouTube TV pricing, you should put all my stuff, YouTube Red, everything under one.
But see, that's why I said we're in the world of niche watching and consuming. It's like you said, instead of YouTube putting that into one thing and saying, here in this one thing you get all this, they're saying, well, if you want this, you do that, and if you want this, you do that. And it's like, okay, I don't want to pay for all those little things.
Well, they're not saying that that will not happen. They didn't
Right.
specifically mention it, but I think you're on the money. That is something that could be included. What has happened though in the past is though that and I don't know the numbers, but with the exception of YouTube Live TV, I don't know how well YouTube Music. We already know YouTube Red, has done super well.
I
People are
love
used
YouTube
to
Red. I just didn't want
free
to pay for it.
YouTube.
I didn't want to pay for it. I love YouTube Red. Didn't want to pay for it.
Right. Exactly. Most people didn't. That's why they're folding all these properties into regular
Right.
YouTube now. It's if people don't want to pay for these things, and YouTube started off as free. When you start free, it is exceedingly difficult to get
Oh,
people to see value in paying for you. I don't care what you offer.
exactly. That's why I said with Facebook, why people say, well, get them to do a subscription, $5 a month. They're not going to do that because they make much more money, way more money with ads and advertisers. And then, like you said, getting them off of the free ride, the free train is difficult for any SaaS or any platform or any app, anything. Getting people off of free. That's why you have to have something that qualify, or you can do the free, but you have to have something early in the game that gets them off of the road of free. Say, okay,
Right.
we're going to scale back services because of whatever the explanation, but we're still going to have this and plus more if you pay this. You have to ease them off, and it's very difficult to do.
YouTube missed the mark. YouTube should have been into the over-the-top game way earlier. As soon as they saw that cat videos and things were taking off, they were poised to be able to produce original content that people would pay for because of the popularity of YouTube. So even though the technology wasn't necessarily there for you to stream through your television at the time, and for multiple devices, they could have started where they were, and I think people would have paid something minimal for that.
Yeah,
They're late.
Minimal. So now YouTube is like, okay, well, we got to keep our advertisers happy, but the creators are, stirring up the pot, getting angry over here. They're getting their little, their torches and stuff, and getting ready because you're changing the algorithm, and you're saying, well, we're going to rise family friendly stuff up to the top, whether you want it or not, because advertisers. But if you make the content creators mad, where's your content? Where's your content coming from?
Exactly.
And then they got the YouTube Kids. Why didn't they start out with YouTube Kids? Why didn't they siphon that off way earlier than now and make, okay, if you do kid stuff, you got to be on YouTube Kids, and make YouTube be the place where, okay, people that want to do the conspiracy stuff and the people that want to do business things or whatever, YouTube is there. And the entertainment, the clips to watch, the late shows at night, or the talk shows or whatever. So now they're trying to figure out, okay, advertisers, we got to make them happy. They don't like the content because it's scary. It's scaring them off. So now we got the YouTube Kids, and now the YouTube Kids, they don't want to go to YouTube Kids. They want to be on
exactly.
They want to be on YouTube. So it's like, what's going on? What's happening? We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. And then we
see.
got Twitch, and Twitch is in the mix, and then Microsoft has something called Mixer.
Yeah. In fact, there was I don't know if you saw that article, but a major Twitcher is leaving Twitch for Mixer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So people are not playing. But again, okay, and I'm not one that likes to squash competition. I'm not saying Twitch has to be the only gaming thing, but are we muddying the waters now for gamers if now we've got a Mixer, and then this comes along and that comes along?
Yes,
is there a critical mass?
You're splitting the pie into too many pieces, and I'm saying that human beings, we cannot focus on 200 things at once. We only can focus on a handful of things at a time. That's important to us because there's life, there's other things going on. So that little space where I'm going to watch gaming, or I'm going to watch YouTube, or I'm going to do this, that space is small in our lives.
Absolutely.
So you're trying to force too many things in there, and it's going to be like, enough. So what do we do after that? I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Go back to cable, I guess. I don't know. No, or there'll be one gaming channel that, okay, there has to be a fallout and they have to all fight it out.
Exactly.
Who has the most
A
money?
fight to the death.
Yeah, YouTube, Amazon, or Microsoft. Which one?
Exactly. Wow. Well,
Watch. Stay tuned. It's going to be entertaining.
very
Right.
entertaining.
It's going to be entertaining because don't forget the influencers. They make
Uh,
everything fun too.
they do. They do.
YouTube creators and influencers is the most it is entertaining to me when I see stuff in social media and digital marketing and media. Any story about that, influencers and creators and stuff, and the way they behave and the things they do online, it's very entertaining.
It is. And Carlos Phoenix makes an interesting point. He says we are there's plenty of room. This is worldwide scale now. We are talking US only, but with OTT, it's worldwide. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. We're talking about a global market, but at some point there still does become saturation.
Yes,
How many of XYZ can you have, regardless if it's global or not?
right. And remember that some other countries, they aren't on our level with internet service and stuff, and they have a device and they don't have they pay per per use or whatever. So you have to keep that in account too.
Right. I mean, yeah, for all intents and purposes, that's an excellent point, because that is a real consideration when it comes to this. As global as you may want to be, you're also dealing with a lack of connectivity in some places. In terms of content, I mean, the African continent is ripe with content. There is so much going on. But then, there's also the connectivity thing with many countries.
There's the infrastructure you got to look at.
Exactly.
Realize that a lot of countries, their people are, they have a device that they have to pay per use or per whatever, and then there's other things going on. So consuming content on a device is not going to be on the top. Water's going to be on the top.
Right. No, exactly. And Carlos says,
right.
In Africa, we aren't trying to be on cable. The focus is mobile. Absolutely. But being from Africa and having family there, I also know that you're not going to you're paying per use. You're paying for, to refill. And while you may have people in the big cities that are able to do that, there are other people who have smartphones that don't live in big cities that may not have the money to keep refilling. They're trying to call people, then they're like, okay, call me back because I have to refill my card. So it's, it's not as simple. And I know you work in that area, so you're probably more in tune with what's happening. But I just know from a mobile standpoint, in many countries in Africa, that is a real thing, that you're paying per use. There are people that are paying for their water. You have to buy water to take a shower and stuff with. So, the last thing on their minds is that.
Yeah, we can get into that about the water and the food, everything that's going on in other countries. So when we're living here in the US, we're kind of, used to, okay, we've got all of this, but once you step out and you see what's really going on out there, you're like, well, this kind of talk about media and stuff is not important over there as it is here. So,
and you know what? The media conversation is real. And let me speak for Nigeria, like Nigeria and South Africa, the media thing, and Ghana, very important, very huge. But there's also some basic living things that need to be taken care of over there. So it's about merging, the two.
You gotta fix you have to fix the infrastructure, the basic necessity first. That's like I always talk about Facebook when they're saying, oh, we got cryptocurrency, we got this and that. Well, fix your privacy issue first. Fix your basic stuff first, and then you can add all of that stuff on, and people will come over. And like you said, if you're worried about paying for water, I got to pay for water. I can't pay for this. I got to pay for water. Netflix got to wait. Apple TV got to wait.
Absolutely. And Carlos says, I'm working with African entertainment companies. Yeah, which is great. So obviously there is a need for that. And there are many different African countries have their entertainment companies. I mean, again, speaking for Nigeria, entertainment, television, video is huge in terms of distribution. They're actually number 2 in terms of distribution. So it's there. It's just looking at some of the other things that are also more basic needs. It's like for the masses, would it make sense? Can you run a subscription service off of the people that would subscribe to it, and not the fact that it could be mass subscriptions, if that
Right.
makes any sense. So, we've got a ways to go to
Yeah,
really
the
make
capability is there, but you gotta wait for the human factor to catch up.
right.
Okay, the technological stuff is there. We can do this, we can do that, but we gotta wait for the human factor to catch up to it and say, okay, yeah, we
Absolutely.
can consume it. So said,
Absolutely.
a lot of global countries ripe for media expansion, ripe for entertainment, all of that.
Right.
It's gotta they're gonna catch up. It's just gonna be a while. So we'll see.
So
Mm-mm.
And
Francine seems to be setting up for her for her next
I'm
for
like,
her
what
shoot.
happened? We're
She
talking.
she is setting up for her shoot. Well, do you have the ability to take us out?
Yes, I do. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna wrap it up and say, thank you guys for watching, the show today and every day on Biz Chicks, and we're glad you're here on Tech. What are we calling this? Tech Divas,
I
Tech
think
Talk.
so.
I forget. Tech Diva Weekly. I forgot what it's called because Terralina's usually here to do the wrap up. So we want to say, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a good weekend, and we will see you all on Monday. Bye bye. Okay,
Wow, thank you. This was great.
it's still going. It says in your okay. I'm trying.